Welcome to our Triber information video. The video is broken into chapters where each chapter demonstrates how to use one of Triber's main features. Those new to Triber, please start with our first chapter, How to Get Started with Triber. Those more experienced users, please go directly to the chapter relevant to your current information needs. In addition, we have our Triber knowledge base and frequently asked questions. Now let's step you through how to get started and make the most of your Triber procurement marketplace. To begin, make sure you have completed our subscriber application form. Simply visit our website at triber.io and click on the Contact menu. From there, select the subscriber application form to fill out the necessary information. Once submitted, you'll receive an email notification confirming that we have received your form. Triber will create your company's marketplace on your desired start date, and you will receive an invitation to your own marketplace via email. Open the email and click on the link to log in using the username and temporary password from the email. You will be prompted to change your password upon first login. To ensure that access to your Triber marketplace remains secure, we provide multi-factor authentication. Enter the MFA code sent to your email address and select Remember this device if you are using your personal device. This will exempt you from MFA authentication on this device in the future. Otherwise, leave it unticked and click Submit Code. Congratulations! You are now securely logged into your company's Triber marketplace. If you want to change your MFA to the Authenticator app, go to your profile and select the MFA settings. You will be prompted with the MFA configuration. Make sure that the Authenticator app is selected and click Confirm. Using either the Microsoft or Google Authenticator app on your mobile phone, simply scan the QR code on your screen and input the MFA code displayed on your device. If you prefer to switch back to email, go to your profile, select MFA settings, choose email, and confirm. If you forget the device, the most recent MFA configuration you have set up will be your MFA. Let's dive into the key features of our procurement platform using an example of how Triber could be used. For this example, let's imagine that Global Mining Company is using Triber to streamline their procurement. You are now the operator of your company's marketplace and have the option to add your company's logo. You can also add additional operators to support additional teams and geographies now or at any time in the future. For example, you can add additional operators at any time, say one in APAC and one in Europe. You create additional operator by adding them as a Triber user. Go to the user page and enter their user details. The default role for each user is marketplace operator. If you are adding them as a seller user or a buyer user, you can select the appropriate role from the drop-down. Once you have entered all the details, click on Submit to create the user. The two operators have been created and you now proceed to create your first buyer group. Click on the Buyer Groups page and click Add New. For this example, we will have one buyer group. Enter the name of your buyer group and click Submit. Now that you have a buyer group, you can add as many buyer users as required. Navigate to the user page, enter all the necessary details, and select Buyer User from the Role drop-down menu. Click Submit to create the user. This action will notify the buyer user via email to activate their account. Next, let's move on to creating an industry. Click on the industry page and then click Add New. Enter the name of the industry and click Submit. Excellent. Now that you have buyer users, let's create our buyer group and add users. Buyer group transactions are private to this buyer group. Go to Buyer Group page and enter the details. Next, let's move on and create our sellers. From the menu, select Sellers and then click on Add New. For this example, let's add 3 sellers. Our sellers will be Mining Recruitment Company, Mining Consultancy and Mining Equipment Supplier. Great. Now let's create the seller users who will receive invitations to your Triber marketplace. Go to the user page again and enter their user details. In the role field, select the appropriate seller from the drop-down menu to link the user. This will notify the seller user via email to activate their account. When a buyer user creates a seller user and adds an additional seller user, all the existing seller users within the group to which you link the new seller user will be notified. They will need to approve before an email invitation is sent to the additional seller user. Your Triber marketplace is now ready for you to create a requests for tender. Go to the RFQ page and click Add New. Select the activity type and enter the required details for your request. We will use each of the 3 types available in Triber. First, let's create an RFQ for labor hire. We will request 15 heavy equipment operators. Enter all the required details. You can also create an industry and buyer at this stage. We will link this request with our buyer group from Colorado. If you would like to require the seller to submit compliance documents, such as product liability, public liability, industry certification, professional indemnity, workers' compensation, or other supporting documents, you can use this section to select Yes. Once all the information is entered, click Submit. For our second RFQ, let's create an RFQ for permanent hire. Our buyer group from Arizona is looking for 20 mining engineers. Moving on to our third RFQ, let's create an RFQ for goods and services. Our buyer group from California is requesting 100 drillers. The operator has the capability to oversee all RFQs. Wonderful. Now it's time to publish these requests to the sellers we created earlier. Go to the Requests page and select the RFQ you want to publish. Click on Add New and then Create Request and select Add a New Request. You will be able to see all the sellers within your marketplace. Choose the sellers you want to invite from the drop-down menu. For our first RFQ, we will invite the mining recruitment company. For the second RFQ, we will invite the mining consultancy, and for the third RFQ, we will invite the mining equipment supplier. Great job! The sellers will be notified of the new requests either via email or by checking the Triber marketplace. Sellers can access their requests on the Active Request page. Now let's switch to the seller's perspective and see how they can view the RFQs and submit a response. Let's respond to the request as the mining recruitment company. The seller user will receive a notification of a new request via email or can directly check the Active Request page. The seller user may download the request details as a PDF and the supporting information as a document. Since the buyer is requesting 5 heavy equipment operators, we will create 5 submissions, which can be done in seconds. The seller user may submit all at once or one by one, depending on the availability of their submission. Once the seller user has reviewed the RFQ and decided to respond, they simply click on Create Submission, then add a new submission, fill in the necessary details, upload attachments if required, and click Submit. For goods and services RFQ, sellers may utilize the cost breakdown structure. Sellers can add a maximum of 10 lines, each containing a brief description, availability, charge, and quantity. Sellers can also update the documents they have submitted by going to the RFQ they submitted and accessing the request submission page. Sellers simply click the Edit function to make any necessary changes. If the seller user is required to submit compliance documents, they can simply go to the compliance page, click on Edit, then click Add New Document to upload the document, set the expiry date, and click Confirm. With this process, the operator and the seller who submitted the document will be notified via email when the document has expired, serving as a reminder to update their documentation. If you need to remove the document, simply click Remove and then click Confirm to save the changes. If you get lost in the process, simply click Need Help. Once the seller user has submitted a response, you will receive an email notification. To view the response, simply click on View Request Submission in the email, and it will lead you directly to the submission. For the goods and services seller submission, you can find the cost breakdown structure here, and you also have the option to export it as an Excel document. You can now evaluate the seller's submissions and update the status by clicking the Update Status button. This will keep the seller informed about the progress of their submission. If you need to edit an RFQ that applies to all sellers, simply go to the RFQ page, find the RFQ you want to edit, click Edit, update the details, and click Submit. If you want to edit a request that applies to a specific seller, go to the Request page, find the request associated with the seller you want to update, click Edit, make the necessary changes, and click Submit to save the modifications. Once an RFQ is closed, it will close all linked requests. If you need to manually close a request, you can do so by going to the RFQ page, finding the request, and clicking Close RFQ. You can close individual requests independent of the RFQ by going to the Request page, finding the request associated with the seller you want to close, clicking View, and finally clicking on Close Request. All closed RFQs will transfer to archived 3 months after the request closure date. If a seller wishes to opt out of an RFQ, they can navigate to the RFQ and click the Opt Out button. Triber includes a convenient chat feature for seamless communication with single or multiple sellers. Each chat message displays the corresponding username, making the conversation simple and direct. You can review all your conversations by visiting the chat page. As the operator, you can initiate chats with buyer groups and sellers. If you are a buyer user linked to a buyer group, you can also initiate chats with the operator and seller, while sellers can chat with both operator and buyer groups. Triber supports peer-to-peer communication, centralizing your procurement process on one platform. You will receive notifications when a user engages in a chat at the RFQ level via our notification bell button, ensuring prompt communication. You can also use this feature to ask specific questions about a particular request. This can be viewed by your marketplace operator, buyer, and the seller linked to the request. And there you have it. You are now familiar with the key features of Triber and how to set up and use Triber to manage your tenders. With Triber, you can harness the power of Triber and join a community of empowered procurement professionals. If you have any further questions, please message us at info@triber.io.